After our family's bucket list week in West Asia's United Arab Emirates, we've headed down under for our first true taste of the continent of Oceania. In this episode, we're staying at the Four Seasons Hotel Sydney and taking their team's suggestions on the city's can't-miss sights and bites. From sea-level architecture and sky-high gazing to kangaroo steak and cocktail confections, we're devouring Australia from the ground up.
G'day, mate! We are in Sydney, Australia. Couldn't be more excited. Starting this episode off strong at the Sydney Opera House behind me. It's Australia's top tourist destination and one of the world's busiest performing arts centers with 11 million visitors annually.
Yeah, it was opened by Queen Elizabeth II in October of 1973, so I would have been 8 months old. I remember that day. So excited to hear about it in the newspapers.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to take 4 years to come out, but it ended up taking 14.
The original estimate for building it was $7 million, but it ended up costing them $102 million, and that was mostly funded by the state lottery.
The unique design is inspired by the sails of a ship, although some locals like to joke around that it looks more like a stack of drying dishes. And as our friends over at Two Passports, One Dream pointed out, what looks like a hodgepodge of different sails pointing in all different directions is actually a collection of 3 different buildings with very neatly aligned sails in a row. It's easy to see from above.
Well, I think it is a gorgeous design and it's unique, and that's why there's a lot of talking points for it. So I think the architect did a phenomenal job because it is so iconic.
Well, Jorn Utzon is Aaron's guy. He's from Denmark, and in 1956, he won the competition to design this place. There were 233 entries, and he was paid a little over 5,000 pounds at the time for the winning entry. That's about 12,000 bucks at the time, USD.
And this is actually the exact spot that Arnold Schwarzenegger won his latest Mr. Olympia bodybuilding contest.
The center is huge. You could actually put 7 Airbus A380s wing to wing on this ground.
Or 8 Boeing 747s.
Temperature and humidity are really important for the instruments, so when the symphony is playing, they have to have it at 22.5 degrees Celsius so the instruments can stay in tune.
One of the things that I love about visiting places up close and in person versus just seeing it on other people's YouTube channels is that you get to notice things that you wouldn't otherwise see. For example, I always thought that the sails on the design of the roof were going to be made of some sort of a fabric or other smooth white surface, but when you look at it up close, you can see that it's actually made up of more than 1 million individual tiles. So it looks a lot more like a kitchen backsplash or a shower wall than it does any kind of a sail.
Our Sydney experience didn't begin today. It actually started yesterday, or the night before yesterday. We're flying Philippine Airlines and we haven't built up enough status yet, so we don't get to pre-board. In fact, we are boarding group J, and that sounds late in the alphabet, so it might be a while. I feel like they were about to call J and now they're distracted. Yay! That's us. Time to go to bed. Thank you.
Unfortunately, our flight does not have seatback entertainment screens, but that's no problem for one of us because we brought our Ray Neo Air 2 XR glasses. More and more, we're seeing people wear these huge ski goggle type headsets for VR, which is virtual reality, or AR, which is augmented reality, but these are XR, which is short for extended reality. And that's a much simpler concept that basically means you're putting a 200-inch plus or 5-meter plus hands-free projector screen in front of your face for consuming rich content like TV, movies, or gaming, and all it takes is this 76-gram pair of glasses. Unlike the huge goggles I just mentioned, you don't need a mini suitcase to travel with these. You don't look hilarious while using them, and they don't cost a month's salary to buy. It's basically like wearing a pair of sunglasses that have a single USB-C cable that connects to a streaming device. For many people that could just be a smartphone, but we also got Ray Neo's Streaming Box Pocket TV. This is quite literally a full Google TV, just like the one we have in our living room, but in a device that fits in your pocket. So it keeps your phone's battery freed up for other things, and it's great if you want to lend the glasses to kids who don't already have their own phones. Obviously, there will be times on flights like this where you don't have Wi-Fi available, but with 64 gigabytes of internal memory and support for up to a 2 terabyte SD card, you can still store and watch hours of content locally. Glasses are so much better than watching directly on your phone screen because you're not killing your neck by looking down for hours, and you're not trying to rig ways to attach your phone to the seat back in front of you. They're powered by dual Sony next-gen micro OLED high-definition displays with a 120Hz refresh rate, so video playback is always super smooth. The design also provides incredible privacy because even the people right next to you can't see the screen. And the built-in stereo speakers even have a whisper mode for additional privacy, but you also have the option of using Bluetooth headphones. There's enough battery life to watch movies for pretty much this entire flight, but with the ability to run simultaneous charging and usage, you can basically watch forever. You can get your own using the link in the description below or by going to followabc.com/RayNeo. We got a solid 8 hours and 15 minutes on this flight. It's gonna get us into Sydney at about 8:45 a.m. And other than Brooklyn watching her movies, I think the rest of us are gonna just try to get some sleep. So we will see you in Australia.
We will be coming around.
Well, it's not easy sleeping on a plane for the parents. These two have been out cold since pretty much they sat down, and now we're on our descent into Sydney. I think Phil and I maybe got 5 hours of sleep, which will get us by for the day, and we don't have too much of a time change. It's just a 2-hour difference.
I most certainly did not get 5 hours of sleep. I'd say I would be lucky if I got 90 minutes of sleep. Honestly, my broken tailbone just makes it nearly impossible to get any real sleep in economy seating. It's quite literally a pain in the butt. But such is the nature of such injuries. Now, we've just got to figure out how it's going to be getting through Sydney customs and immigration here. It's our first time in the city, so we have no idea.
I filled out our visa as U.S. passport holders online ahead of time, and they got back to me, approved it within a couple of hours, really. And I feel like that is good for entering the country for a year. And then also on the plane, we had to fill out, the form that says if we're bringing any agriculture or money or had anything to declare. Ooh, looks like there might be a long line. Oh, looks like other flights are coming in at the same time.
Keep going. Be not possible.
I love flying into Australia. They don't stamp passports anymore, which is a relief because I've gotten so used to going through customs and asking them to try and consolidate the stamps for the kids especially. So we just checked in, they did the digital search, and we're ready to go. Now we gotta get a taxi and head to our hotel.
It's actually a little bit trippy to feel the weather here because it feels and it smells like fall. It's a little bit chilly. I'm guessing it would be in the 60s Fahrenheit, and it feels really good after weeks and weeks in that brutal heat and humidity of Manila, of the Philippines. Whew. I think we're just gonna do a taxi so we don't have to deal with rideshare apps.
Thank you.
All right, is it meter, babe?
It's meter.
How you doing? We're staying at the Four Seasons Hotel in Sydney, and we'll give you a complete tour of our 21st floor suite in a little bit. But for now, we're gonna show you what's within walking distance right out here.
So earlier we were at the Sydney Opera House just a few blocks from the hotel, and pretty much starting at the hotel on George Street, they cut off the vehicle traffic, and it's only the train that goes up and down the street, which makes it pretty, other than the train, pedestrian friendly, and a lot of great shops and restaurants.
Speaking of restaurants, some of us are pretty hungry right now. Maybe not the ones who are just finishing their ice cream cones, but some of us really are, and there are some great eateries right up this way.
The food culture, especially in this city, is super eclectic and diverse. They get influences from all over the world, Asia, Europe, and North America. You can find pretty much anything here.
Speaking of that diversity, as soon as we got into town yesterday, we had lunch at this place called Bar Totti's, a phenomenal Italian joint. We had this incredible fired bread with ricotta cheese on it, to die for. I actually want to go back.
No, we gotta try something new. We also stumbled upon this little alley. It's called Ash Street. It has a ton of cute cafes, restaurants, and a sandwich shop that Colt was practically begging us to go into. So today's our chance. Oh my gosh, there's flowers in there. So gorgeous. It's actually pizzas, not sandwiches, but it looks like sandwiches because it's so thick. It's called Odie by the Sled. These look insane. These look pretty insane. Colt's already picked out what he wants. I'm taking my time. I feel like we're in Rome. This looks so good. It's definitely the Roman style pizza that's thick, cooked on a sheet. And look how toasted all the meat looks up on top.
Look, babe, they actually do have one sandwich here, a panino.
I'm torn between the mushroom artichoke and maybe ham, and the pesto is vegetarian, so totally different.
I mean, if you get the pesto one, I will get the artichoke and ham and mushrooms, what you said? And then you can have a bite of one. And then Colt, you're getting the ham and pineapple?
I'm getting the spicy ham and pineapple, which is actually this one.
Woo! Looks good. Yummy, thank you so much. We're gonna sit outside just around the corner. All right, lunch is here.
Oh my gosh, it looks so good.
Soupli. Oh my gosh, and then she cut them in half. Thank goodness, that was nice of her, because these are pretty big slices. All right, now Colt has, oh, Brooklyn's sticking it. Soupli is actually rice with breading on the outside and cheese in the middle of it, deep fried. Very classic, yeah, classic in Rome. And Colt has his spicy pineapple slice. Here you go.
Thank you.
Very welcome. And I got this pesto. Pesto, it was straight up delicious. And the dough, super, super, super doughy, and then really crispy on the bottom, and everything on top. It's like we're in Rome. Oh my gosh.
Let's dig into this. Oh my gosh, I almost need a fork. It's so huge. So mushrooms, cheese obviously, and tons of ham and a good amount of artichoke hearts. Italian 2 days in a row. I can get used to that actually, I'm not complaining. It's that thick Roman style crust, but it's so airy you just bite right through it. It's not too much dough, perfect amount of toppings versus crust ratio. I was joking about Colt getting the ham and pineapple, but it actually does have pineapple. I can't believe that of all the pizzas, that's the one he would order after the episode that we launched on our other channel of him being very against pineapple on pizzas.
So pizza toppings are a bit of a controversial subject. There is a debate over whether pineapple belongs in a pizza or not. I believe it does, if that's what you want. No?
It doesn't.
I don't know. And I think if you could do pineapple, you can do mango.
Mango is only okay in the Philippines.
Well, I love pineapple on pizza. It's one of my favorite toppings ever, so I will take these.
I've tried all three. Pesto is my favorite.
But we can't fill up too much, because I think we have a couple more bites coming up.
So we've been walking on George Street, and now we want to hop on over to another really iconic street, Pitt Street.
I don't think we've even mentioned that it's actually autumn here in Sydney right now, and it's both really cool, I mean figuratively and literally, because we came from the heat and humidity of the Philippines, and now it is beautiful and comfortable, at least for me. It's maybe mid-60s Fahrenheit, so whatever that is in Celsius. But it's also trippy because we skipped an entire season, essentially, right over summer. And it's unlike anything that we've ever experienced because we've never even been this far south below the equator. In fact, we've only been south of the equator one other time in our lives, and that was barely below. As we were talking to our friend in the hotel this morning, she mentioned that Tasmania is south of here, and it's actually really cold right now, and gonna get even colder, snow and everything. And I was like, wait a minute, the farther south and it's gonna be colder? And I was like, right, because everything is reversed here. It's, you know, as somebody who's 51 years old, it's really hard to wrap my head around how that works because we haven't experienced it until today.
This is Pitt Street Mall. It used to be called Pitt Row. It's in Sydney's Central Business District, and starting at King Street, it's pedestrianized. So no cars, so much room for activities.
Pitt Row was one of the earliest named streets in the city of Sydney, and it was named after Britain's Prime Minister at the time, William Pitt.
It's the city's fashion center and Australia's busiest cosmopolitan shopping area.
And to illustrate that point, this is the highest rent in all of Australia, and at least a few years ago, it was the 5th most expensive rent in the entire world.
Not all the shops are on this street here. There are these little inlets and rows of more shops, like shopping centers within shopping centers. And I find it really interesting that they call malls arcades. because we think of arcades like video games. I mean, the kids got excited because they thought that the biggest arcade was going to be here, but they just mean shopping center. It is so stinking cute in here. I love it also when our followers reach out to us and give us recommendations and suggestions. And this particular person reached out to us on Instagram and told us all about the coffee culture that they have here in Australia. And they said we got to try gumption. I can't wait. I can smell the roast. It smells so good. And a little bit of wine, always a good sign. The ice batch latte, cold drip. I definitely want a hot, maybe a macchiato. Look at this cute little counter. It's just for gumption. So I went with a macchiato so that I could really taste the espresso because it's really just a shot and a little bit of milk. The aroma is real good. You Aussies don't mess around. I love a good strong espresso. That's awesome, it's delicious. Thanks for the recommendation. They take their coffee very seriously in Australia, but you've got to be an early riser like the rest of them because the cafes and coffee shops usually open really, really early and they're closed by 3 p.m. So unlike the US where you could go to a coffee shop at midnight, you can't do that here.
This is the Queen Victoria building. It's a 5-story shopping center, and it was built as a monument to Queen Victoria's Golden Jubilee in 1898.
Golden Jubilee means 50 years in power.
Gorgeous architecture. I mean, we keep walking around trying to figure out what the vibe here in Sydney is, and we've talked about how it's similar to San Francisco in a way. It's really hilly. The weather is similar, but it also reminds me so much of Europe with the architecture. It's just gorgeous, building after building, and look at this big clock in the middle.
The glass ceilings in here remind me a little bit of the Galleria in Milan, Italy. Oh, but here's something kind of French. Let's grab some macaron.
Yeah, can I just get raspberry, please? Three raspberry?
Oh my gosh, they have a gin and tonic.
All right, I'll take a gin and tonic.
Yeah? All right, I'll do a gin and tonic. 2 gin and tonics. How can you resist? That's so crazy. I've never seen, and did you say there's a little bit of alcohol? Just a little alcohol.
Then can I have a teensy little taster?
Kids got the fruity flavors, but I'm ready for cocktail hour. First of all, dynamite macaron. Like the consistency of the cookie on top and the gooey, what would you call it? Like jelly? Really good.
Filling.
Can I try it?
Filling.
A little bit?
Tiny bite.
Okay, I'm gonna try a teensy bit. That's really good.
It's limey, huh?
Yeah, it didn't taste like it has any alcohol.
I'm sure it really hardly does at all. I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10 too. I mean, it tastes kind of like a lemon lime, so I don't get a whole lot of gin and tonic, but it is delicious.
And now this one's raspberry, no alcohol, luckily. It's so sweet.
That really is a phenomenal macaron. But you know, some of the most epic things to see here aren't even on ground level. They're up there.
It's gorgeous. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. I feel like we could see everything and really get a lay of the land for the harbor.
So this is the Sydney Tower Eye, also known as Centrepoint Tower. It's over 1,000 feet or 300 meters high. Now just over the pond in New Zealand, they have the Auckland Sky Tower, which is taller technically, but this one's observation deck is about 100 feet higher, 30 meters higher. So this is the place to go if you want the best views.
I see boats. You know what's crazy, Dad? There's people in buildings like that one that are super high up and they get paid to work in a place where they can see the same view as we can.
They have something called a skywalk here where you put on a suit, you get strapped in, and you can go to it's like another observation deck that is up a little higher. And they have like plexiglass floors. So you've got like nothing below you. And that is something that would be right up our alley, except for they don't allow cameras. So we decided to skip it this time. I actually have something else in mind for the kids that is going to be a little bit surprise later.
Construction on the tower began in 1975, and prior to that, a building this tall wouldn't have even been allowed because the maximum height was 279 meters. And that was to accommodate for the flying boats that they had at the time prior to the jet age. Now, if you're like me and you're getting a little excited about the idea of boats flying through the sky, it actually is just the name that they used for their big seaplanes at the time.
I love the perspective that we get up here. You can see the Opera House between the buildings, you can see the bridge, and you get the lay of the land of all the buildings here, including the Botanic Gardens, which is just a gorgeous, gorgeous park. I have to say, something that we notice in Sydney is that it must be the fittest city we've ever been to. We can't stop but bump into joggers everywhere we go, everywhere we're walking. There are just people running, exercising. There are people sprinting up a hill in the park. I mean, I just feel like everyone's outdoors and working out. It's awesome. I love it. You can also see the Queen Victoria building that we just came from, Pitt Street Mall. I mean, you can see it all up here. It's beautiful. Speaking of the beauty, we're here at the perfect time. We're gonna see the sunset. We had to get tickets for the observation deck in advance online to save 20%. And it also came with a little photo pass. So they took a couple pictures of us when we entered. We actually got 26 digital copies that I can pull up on my phone from that little QR code I scanned. I mentioned that we had a surprise for the kids, and it's a VR roller coaster, and we bought those with the observation tickets as a package deal.
Just like an airplane ticket?
It is. You've been on an airplane before, have you?
I'd say we've been on a few airplane rides.
Yeah, so you know how this works?
Actually, I've like never been on an airplane my entire life.
Yeah,
We all just know we just swim the entire way.
Oh yeah, of course. It's pretty cold here on Earth, Australia.
I hope it's gonna be scary. I want it to be scary.
This is so cool!
That was so fun. I expected it to be like scary. If there was like wind in my face.
Then you get down, it felt like you were going.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Do we go again?
Straight down.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of are those little clips, videos that people do where they hold their dog or cat over water and they start paddling.
Do you enjoy the shark?
Which one do you like better?
Definitely the roller coaster.
That was almost as good as the real thing.
Speaking of the real thing, that gin and tonic macaron was delicious, but I think I could go for a real cocktail now.
So then where are we going?
You tell me.
I don't know. I need more help. Let's check our suggestion list for the perfect place. On our way back, Phil and I had this brilliant idea. We are dropping the kids off at the hotel and we're gonna have a date night. Woohoo!
All right, guys, no problems. Your phones work. Batteries are good.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll call you in a little bit.
As hard as it is for your little babies to grow up, it does have some advantages. So last night I had to run a little errand and I walked down the street. So it's just one block past our hotel and it was just the cutest little cafes. They blocked off the traffic and I want to go back there.
They're getting ready for Vivid Sydney, which is this annual arts and cultural festival that they put on here. And unfortunately, we're leaving on Friday, which is the same day they start it officially. We might get to see some setup stuff going on outside of our window and as we walk around, but maybe next year we'll come back for the real deal.
This one looked great before. We're gonna try the Rocks Cafe. All right, let's do here.
Right?
Yeah. Turns out we picked a restaurant that has an iconic building for its location, 99 George Street. It has been around and used in various ways since 1788, including a hospital. I think it says that it was next door. It was part of the hospital grounds and it was right next door, and the assistant surgeon resided there.
For a little American context, that is 12 years after the US became a country.
But it's been a restaurant since the 1980s. So the menu has influence from all over. There's European dishes like pastas and North American like hamburgers, cheeseburgers. Also some Asian, Thai beef salad, lamb sounds good, maybe Mediterranean. And also grilled kangaroo. It's pretty much 100% authentic Australian right there.
All right, we just ordered. Aaron got some soup, and you can probably guess what I ordered. Just like these drinks.
I love Sydney. I feel like we keep finding new places to visit and we keep being blown away. I'm telling you, this travel thing has not gotten old yet. Cheers.
And as Aaron sips her Cosmo, I just have to say that it is hard to pick already a favorite thing about Sydney. I love the weather here, not just because it's a nice break, but because it's a really nice climate. And it actually is kind of a rare thing for us to go back to a Western country after all the time in Southeast Asia. So, love them both, love the contrast. Love this martini.
I don't know if we would call it a Western country. We are in Oceania, and maybe a large Western influence.
I don't know, I think it's probably similar to the whole first world, third world kind of thing, where it's actually like a geopolitical term more than anything. So I think geographically, it's not going to be Western unless you go all the way around the globe, all the way back to this side. But I definitely think culturally, it would be considered Western. Let us know in the comments.
Oh, this looks good. Oh, it's my kind of soup.
Thank you.
Oh, darn, that looks good too. I can smell Phil's kangaroo.
Oh, you gave it away.
Oh, I did? I'm sorry. But that's also a sentence I never thought I would say. But it smells different, gamey actually. And my soup, it's lentil and vegetable soup, and so I thought it'd be chunky. It's creamy like a bisque. It looks awesome. Love it. That's really good. It reminds me of split pea soup. A totally different color. I love split pea soup. But I'm more interested to see what Phil thinks of kangaroo.
Well, first of all, I have to say, as with any other animal, it does hurt my feelings a little bit to eat this, but Aaron and I, and the family for that matter, are carnivores. So, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't feel any worse about eating kangaroo than I do about eating beef or chicken. But with that in mind, there's pretty much no animal on a menu that I'm not going to try if I haven't tried it before. After having ostrich in South Africa, rattlesnake in Arizona, gotta have this. It tastes so much like beef. And if you look, I would never ever guess that kangaroo is a red meat like that. I don't know why. Anybody who eats meat would love this. I'm gonna make you a bite, baby. Au jus?
That tastes exactly like steak, except for it's like not grainy. It's hard to explain it. Like, there's no strands, there's no tendons. Like, it's not like it chews easier. It tears apart in your teeth easier. I like it. I think I like that more than beef, than cow.
Yeah, and I bet it's leaner too. But in case you're wondering how much something like this costs, this is a big piece of meat. What did it say, 250 grams? So whatever that is in ounces, Americans. This was 48 Australian dollars, which would be a chunk of that, 32 bucks US. And that's a much better price than steak. You know the nice thing about kangaroo though, baby? Whatever you don't eat, you can just take with you in your pouch.
We had our dinner, now we have to go get some food for the kids. Well, that over there is part of the Vivid show. It is so beautiful down here. I love walking around cities at night. Well, we found our way back to the pier, what do you call this, wharf?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah? We'll call it a wharf for now, because this area definitely reminds me of San Francisco. And Colt really wants us to get him some shawarma. It's a Middle Eastern, almost like a falafel mixed burrito type thing, where they have the falafel bread and they have the meat that's on like the stick, and you shave it off, put it in the middle. He's been craving it all day. And he's in luck that it's still open. No lettuce, no tomato, no onion. What does he want? Garlic? Garlic mayo.
And I think we'll just get Brooklyn a burger and fries. It's one of her staples. She loves it.
Let's get these kids some food and we'll give you a tour of our room. Welcome to our awesome suite. We're gonna give you a very quick tour. We have a little walk-in closet over there, which is great, and a king bed. That's for Phil and I. Let me show you Colt's little sleeping nook. This is where he sleeps, on the bench. Oh, I should point out the little mini bar we have over here. Coffee and tea is complimentary, and the rest of it is pretty much very expensive mini bar prices. But yeah, it's fully stocked. And over here, this is Brooklyn's bedroom, which is the couch. So normally this would be a sofa, like a little living room setup, but since we have the kids, they made it a bedroom for us. And the bathroom, we've got a big tub. It's really deep in there, actually. The sink, toilet, and shower. But best part, it's this view. We can see the Sydney Opera House, and that brings us full circle. This was another awesome day out there in the world, exploring a totally new city, a totally new country, and a totally new continent for us. And we're not done. We're still gonna go out there and experience even more of this world. We would love for you to come along with us, including Antarctica, which we will be visiting by the end of this year. So we hope that you subscribe, we hope that you like it, and we hope that you leave a comment so that we can interact with you. We love hearing from you, and we will see you in the very next episode. Oh, so beautiful.
Oh, it's so cute.
Or other smooth white surface. Or other smooth white surface. Or other smooth white surface.
Or the night before yesterday. Now we gotta get a taxi and then head over to our airport. No? Now we gotta get a taxi and head to our hotel. See, Phil, let me tell you how science works. So the Earth is tilted on an axis. It's because the Earth is tilted on an axis. So the hemispheres are facing different directions during the years. See, I know that because of Ignite Learning Academy. Texture, it's just gorgeous. Building after. It's just woohoo! Ouch! I just whipped myself in the eye.
Put my eye back and forth.
Apple pie, pecan pie. I love pecan pie. Oh, beware, it contains nuts. I think this is funny. What do we know? We're just a couple of Westerners. We better check and make sure it's actually kangaroo.
No, it
It's
makes-
like the nickname for
It makes sense that it's red meat, but I just didn't picture it that way for some reason. I figured it would be lighter.
Kanga bag instead of a doggy bag. No, crickets. Let's get these kids some food and we'll give you a tour of our room. Boop, boop, boop. There's no numbers there. Give me a sec.
Come here. No, come here. So I can dial it in. Closer to me, baby. And farther from me, baby.
Look! We did not leave too early. The show doesn't start till the 24th, but we get a little preview because they have to practice. This is Vivid City, so they got
Sydney.
Vivid Sydney, so they got the light shining on our building right now.